Good evening and welcome to the North American division of the Porsche Cup Challenge. We make our third stop in Canada tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, otherwise known as Mosport. And ahead of us tonight awaits a 15-minute sprint race and then a 30-minute feature with the top 8 drivers from the sprint race flipped. I'm joined in the booth by Mr. Zach Purcell. How you doing, Zach?
Oh, I'm doing so great. It already looks like a really competitive field, and this is easily one of my favorite tracks of all time. One that I love watching races at, I love racing at, and it'll test the drivers in a different way than Interlagos did last week.
It definitely is a fast and flowy track, but very, very technical at some points. So, interesting to see how everybody does. I know we had some very, very fast people in practice, just like this man right here. Where is he? Jack Buser. As he's going around that car there. He was in the 17s. And to put that into perspective, Ali Hunt just did a 118.1. Aiden Young does a 118.1. So 17's pretty fast.
Yeah, only a couple guys, him and Sam Sproul, were able to do that in that practice session, and then a pretty big gap back to Aiden Young, who was in third. So certainly keep an eye on those two, Buser and Sproul, to continue to do well in this qualification session.
Yeah, Buser already 2 pink sectors. He's rounding the corner. Cross the line. 118.1 as well. That's going to be 117.5.
No, 117.5. Yeah,
wow.
Good.
Okay.
Faster than his practice time. He put a lot of laps in practice.
Yeah, and it looked like he almost had traffic on that lap. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him tonight as we go towards this qualifying here. Certainly looking strong for him. Our man that won last week, Gabriel Duarte, still not out on track. He's waiting until later when all the action kind of slows down, and he has a way better chance of missing some of the chaos of early qualifying.
Yeah, this is a short lap too. Interlagos is also a pretty short track, at least as far as large F1 style tracks are concerned. But this one's pretty short as well. Again, just minute 17 is said there. We're not even in the minute and a half. So with this 15-minute qualifying session, you can get 4 laps in really easily.
Yeah, you definitely can, although it's a matter of finding that clean air. Like you said, it's really quite a small track, and we've got how many cars out there tonight? 26?
26, yep.
So it's not going to be the easiest thing ever.
No, and that's definitely the key to getting a good qualifying time. Well, I mean, actually, unless you're Jack Buser, who had traffic and then still is 5/10 ahead. But for everyone else, you're going to have to make sure to find a good gap. And there's not a lot of places to let people around here. I mean, you have the Marco Andretti straightaway, which is not straight really at all. And then other than that, there's not very many long stretches. And so it can be kind of hard to make yourself a gap without just getting in someone else's way behind you.
It definitely can be. Now, how would you like to walk us through a lap of this wonderful track here?
I would love to. Now I gotta say, oh, that's a little one there. Fans of braking markers or fans of braking boards, you will not like this track. I don't think there's a single one anywhere on this entire track, so it's all landmark based. But here we have coming around White's corner, starting the lap here. You're gonna do just a little dab of the brakes on the right when the road starts to fall away. You can't see the apex, and you're just gonna lift as little as you can, carry it all the way out to that curb. And then now you're going to do another slight dab of the brakes at the crest of the hill. Don't want to go out wide here. If you go too wide, you can't hang on anymore, and you will crash into that wall. You're not going to survive on the grass. Brake left at that billboard there. Slow down enough so that you can maximize the exit here. You're going to come all the way out wide. There's a lot of curb out there to take advantage of. Now, my favorite corner, and maybe all of motorsport, is Moss Corner here. You're going to try to just lift as little as you can. Depending on the state of the car, you can send it in full speed, but use the entirety of that exit there. Again, you can't see it, and make sure you get back onto the track before you get into the grass there. You get a long time to kind of chill out. It's not super straight, but at the very least should give you time to reacquaint yourself after a really intense set of corners back there that require a lot of bravery and not too much patience. So, and then you're gonna turn right. There's that blue house there. It's when you're gonna start the braking and turn in. Again, blind apex turning left. This one, you're going to use the throttle on the right to get yourself turned around a little bit. Easy to spin out and hit that inside wall. As long as you keep it on the track, you've got a pretty good lap on your hands.
So, a wonderful lap here from Ryan Winfelt. Not going to improve, but still very nicely put together. Alrighty. There we see Allie Hunt, the 6th place driver right now. So people that still have a lap to do, Jack Buser says he's happy with his 1:17.5 because he has parked it in the garage with a lap still to do. Although it doesn't look like he is eligible to do that 4th lap. Aiden Young has one more lap to go as he's going to cross the finish line now. Devin Horvath can do another lap. We've got Michael Carrillo is on his final lap along with Dan Morera. Young Choi's finished his 4 laps. Ariel Julian's finishing his 4th lap right now. There he is.
Yeah, it's a clarification too. As the final week of our, splitting of the Pro and Am classes based on qualifying, it's going to be the top 10. Since there's 26 people in the session right now, the top 10 will be moved up to Pro. So right now, 3 drivers: Charlie Puyer, Michael Carrillo, and Dan Morera. If it were to end as it is, then they would be moved up to Pro. Certainly, Michael Carrillo, driver last week that we saw had the pace, but had incidents in both heats. So not surprising to see him up there. Charlie Puyer and Dan Morera are also very fast, and this is a very tight field right now.
It definitely is very tight. Now, Gabriel Duarte, who took a few wins on that wonderful Interlagos track, is finally on his first flying lap. As you'll see, that track is so much more empty than it was when everybody was out there doing their time lapse. So a good strategy from him, and he's got tons of time to get his laps in.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a no-brainer. I love Moss. It's so great. Especially when you nail it, it's just one of the best corners. But we'll see a lot of incidents there. Usually it's when drivers are trying to turn while braking and they get a lockup and they have to let off. They will crash into the wall on the left side there. And then in turn 2, which is Clayton Corner, I think we'll see a lot of incidents there as well. Drivers trying to hang it on the outside, especially trying to go like too wide, and they're going to get in the grass and it's just going to send them off. But it's not an easy track by any means. It's a very survival-based track.
It's definitely a tricky one to navigate that turn 2. Like you said, too wide through there is, you really, really, really got to know who you're racing, because it's pretty scary. Gabriel Duarte up to 13th.
And Michael McLeod there at his home track, moving into the top 10, potentially. If it finishes that as it is, will be moved up into the Pro classification.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, one of certainly not a few Canadians. A lot of Canadians here, and a lot of them will be excited to do well at a home track, one that's very well known in Canada.
Yes, very well known, and home for Devin Horvath, Ali Hunt, Michael McLeod. We've got Mark Lampere, Young Choi, Michael Murillo, Benjamin Roche, and Crispin Hudson, who's a new name here tonight.
Yeah, one of a few new names, ones that we didn't see it last week at least. So definitely interested to see how they fare today, and maybe what we'll see from them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I sure hope we see a lot of people for the rest of the season, especially everybody here, obviously. But the more cars, the more action, the more fun.
I'll say we can see there Buser's lead dropped a little bit. Sproul just under 3/10 away from that. And then we see Aiden Young right behind that. And I just saw him in the chat here, and he said, "I'll take a 17.8. Not bad for a guy who just bought this track today." So that's a pretty qualifying there, 3rd. And Gabriel Duarte moves way up to 4th right behind him. But 3rd in a really strong field with obviously no more than today's practice is very impressive.
It sure is pretty impressive. Now, let's see here. Michael McLeod's got one more lap. Rob West has a lap after this one. And Gabriel Duarte has one more when he finishes this one. So 3 more people can qualify, which means Michael McLeod's going to be guaranteed that spot in the top 10.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy about being that high up. Certainly elevates himself with the rest of the competition. Gonna have to really compete with the real big guys up there at the top for the pro, but he obviously has the pace to do that, especially here at a track that I know he really likes.
Yes, I think he even gave us a track guide earlier. He's really into motorsport.
Yeah, there's a lot of secrets to learn, which is why it kind of surprised me to see Aiden up there so well, because there seems to be, with this track, like I said, the braking markers, those are just landmarks. You know, you don't have any braking boards, and some of the lines are kind of weird. The track does not have what I would consider like a textbook geometry on a lot of these corners.
Yeah, it's just a tricky track. That's really all it is. And these guys are going way faster than I could, so props to them.
Yeah, it's tricky in a very different way than Interlagos was last week. Interlagos very, fluid and natural, but takes a lot of patience and precision. And this one's just about being able to hang on to the car, just sticking with it through some blind apexes, through some big downhill decompression zones, especially in turn 2, and then the uphill part of Moss. It's just really easy to lose the car through these hills. I mean, it's a lot of rolling hills in this track.
I'm thinking we're gonna see at least 3 people, maybe 3 people over the night go off in turn 2. Maybe 3 people in one race. I don't know. It's really tricky.
I've done it plenty. I hate going off in turn 2 because there's such a long field of grass to the wall, and there's nothing, you can't stop it. You're going too fast. It's impossible to stop.
Yeah. I mean, if you're super lucky, you might limit the damage, but you're going to go into that wall, and you might end up stuck and having to tow, which would be the worst case scenario.
If Jack Buser there on his 4th lap, not faster in that first section, but he is making his way through this. He doesn't really need to improve on his time. Looks like he's probably going to be safe from everyone behind, who's almost everyone is finished.
Yes, everybody has put in their 4 laps, or they're out of time to do more. So that will put Michael McLeod is going to be a pro in the final qualification for it. Let's put him up there, along with Charlie Pouillier and Michael Carrillo.
Yeah, Dan Marrera just barely missing out on it. Not even a 10th back from Carrillo, but Carrillo also a driver trying to get into that pro field. So,
well, unfortunate. Where's McLeod? There's McLeod. All right, McLeod's up, Pouillier's up, and Carrillo's up. Where's Pouillier?
Charlie Pouillier.
Here he is. Okay, let's see those names change to green. And there they go.
Nice.
So look at our grid here tonight. We have Jack Buser on pole, followed by Samuel Sproul, Aiden Young, Gabriel Duarte, Michael McLeod, Devin Horvath, Ali Hunt, Charlie Pouillier, Marco Valverde, Michael Carrillo, Dan Marrera, and Ryan Winfeld.
Following those guys, we have Mark Lampere, Rob West, Young Choi, Ariel Julian, Mark Santana, Carl Ribbing, Michael Murillo, Gary Watson, Rob Rodriguez, Benjamin Roche, Troy Fenelon, and Crispin Hudson.
And then our final 2, Nicholas Stamos and Mikey Halenik. So, should be a wonderful race here tonight. And everybody is making their way to the grid for the 15-minute sprint race. And remember, everybody after this, the top 8 will be inverted. So the winner of this race will start 8th for the 30-minute one.
Super short run down to turn 1. There's almost no time for these drivers to get themselves situated, try to get in a line or anything. So there's a lot of people that are going to have to go too wide, and it's tough to hang it around the outside. So certainly be on the inside would be the preferred situation, despite the fact that it does look like the leaders are starting on the left.
Or
Or no, that is Sproul. I don't think we have Buser on the track yet. Never mind. So yes, Buser,
right.
huge advantage being there on the right.
And the lights are on. 1 light goes on. 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights go on. Now they're off, and Buser leads them away. Sproul jumps him, though.
Wow.
Sproul with a great start way up. Buser, terrible start. And Duarte's up into second as well. Oh, Buser spins out. That's going to cause...
No.
Oh, that's Michael McLeod into the wall. Somebody else was caught up in that as well. Duarte gets away clean. And Sproul's up into the lead after turn 1. Oh, and who's that off into the... Oh, that is somebody's out in the grass.
That is Marco Valverde.
Marco Valverde's in the grass. Not a great start for him. That's turn 2 there. 2 wide between Michael Carrillo and Dan Marrera. Dan Marrera up from 12th. No, he was up from 9th up to 6th now. Great start from him. Marc Lampere looking to make something happen. Not much happening. Further back through the field. Side by side, that is... who is that? That is Marco Valverde. After going off in the grass, he is way back up there, and he's making it work.
Luckily, no damage.
Yeah. All right, so big drama on the start, especially from our pole sitter, Jack Buser. That's not how his start wanted to happen, but unfortunately, there's not much you can do now. Ali Hunt's up into 3rd place. He was in 7th to start this race, and Duarte from 4th to 2nd. Sproul's out to a nice lead. Him and Duarte have almost a 4-second gap to the cars behind. Oh boy.
Yeah, the obviously incredible start for Sproul off the line. It looks like something happened with Aiden Young. I don't know what the car just like didn't start. There was no revs, and then he got rear-ended, and then through that entire first lap, he was bleeding positions. You can see down 6. A lot of that due to some pace issues that he's got with the damage to the rear left of the car.
Yeah, Rob West goes off track, and he's now towed to the pit lane. Oh boy, what a mess.
Michael McLeod looks like he had to tow as well.
It does indeed look like that. He is in the pit lane, and I think he'll most likely be out of this race. Oh no, it says he left the pits. So we'll see what he can do. I think he may have taken a fast repair or something. He was only in his pit box for 3 seconds.
Now that things have kind of chilled out up front, not a lot of position changes. It's kind of just driving in the line down here down the Mario Andretti straightaway, but no one's really pulling away. Obviously, great start by Sproul, but he just holds a gap of only 0.6 to Duarte behind.
Yeah, it is, like you said, mostly lead. It's a very expensive lead follow, as they say in the racing. Just everybody following each other. Not a lot of action happening, but somebody up here is sizing up a move, and that would be Dan Marrera.
Well, Dan Marrera is under attack by Ariel Julian there.
That as well.
That's Ariel Julian there in the blue, but now he's got Young Choi on the outside. Oh man,
Choi.
Great pass by Choi.
Nice move. Nicely
Yeah, he made the
done.
mistake of trying to go. Julian made the mistake of trying to go inside of Dan in front, lost the position.
He did. Look at Gabriel Duarte.
Wow.
He's right on the bumper now of Samuel Sproul, but can't make it happen just yet. Side by side, that's Jack Buser and Crispin Hudson going up into, I believe this is
that was a
turn
big clobber of the curb there.
7 Moss corner. Is that 7?
Yeah, Moss, that whole section there, yeah.
And he gets the move done on Crispin Hudson. Benjamin Roche.
Yeah, Duarte couldn't really catch up going down that straight, but Roche, yeah, certainly under attack by Valverde, trying to make up some more spots. Had that mistake turn 2 of lap 1, but it's actually made up quite a lot. Only down 5 from where he started now.
Yeah, that is not too bad. Gabriel Duarte sets the fastest lap as well with a 1:18.2. Side by side now, Marco Valverde into turn 2. Side by side still. That's turn 1, sorry. And Valverde's ahead going into turn 2. Roche has to back out.
Roche spotted as much as he could. Just not possible on the outside to do it.
Yeah.
When you're side by side, you got to have a good lead.
It's too dangerous. It'll most likely end in... Oh, and Valverde's around, and he's going to crash into Roche. Oh, boy. Oh, and that's another car up ahead. Who is that? Oh boy.
Oh, Gary Watson's flipped, turned around.
Gary
Oh,
Watson
man.
spun. Roche has hit somebody else. In the carnage of it all. Oh boy. Not what you want to see. Troy Fenelon making up a few positions after that incident there. He's up 4 positions from where he started. And that's also Michael Murillo falling off the back of Crispin Hudson.
Just so much carnage there in that midfield. Just takes a couple incidents in some bad spots, and these guys are so close to each other. But coming down the straight there, Benjamin Roche on the outside of Michael Murillo.
And Roche manages to be in front coming into the corner. Oh boy. Lots of drama on this tight track. It's everywhere you look, really.
And this has really opened the door for Jack Buser to make a better recovery than he probably had initially thought just one turn into the race.
Yeah, Jack Buser, he's down 15 positions, but it's not as bad as where he started. So he can't be super upset. I mean, it's not good, but it could be worse.
Devin Horvath there, a driver who I think was also involved on something in lap 1. And then Mikey Howanick, he didn't even qualify, or at the very least had no qualifying time put in, and it's made his way all the way up from dead last to 14th.
Murillo taking that spot back on Roche into the Moss corner.
Yeah, you got to get it sorted out by then. Side by side, I mean, that's asking for some trouble there, trying to go into that section.
Very, very, very tricky indeed it is. And Mark Lamper is under attack, but he manages to hold off Ryan Winfelt for at least a lap. Oh, and they're getting handsy back there.
Winfelt spins to the inside,
Winfelt
backwards.
Is off track now. Who else?
And someone else lost it.
That
Choi.
looks young
Backwards.
Choi in that Batman car. Oh, that's trouble. That positioning of the car there. He's gonna.
Oh.
Ooh, just manages Troy Fenelon almost going into him there. Sketchy
avoidance
things. Now, side by side is young Choi with Benjamin Roche. Looks like Roche is gonna be ahead into turn 2 and hopefully keep that nice and tidy there. Oh boy! Oh, that's Choi
goes wide.
into the wall. There you go. Oh, hey, you know what? He kept it out of the wall for the most part.
Yeah, luckily going slow enough. He was going really slowly after turn 1, just from that spin that he had. So, I guess there's the silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, going off, but not hitting the wall. You know, balance the two.
Yeah, you could see when you're watching it, you're like, why don't you just keep turning? When you're in that decompression, the car just stops doing that. You have to set up the turn earlier than that. And if you end up finding yourself drifting wide, there's just no stopping it without hitting the brakes.
And this here is Michael McLeod trying to claw his way back up. Currently last of the people still running, but trying to pass Gary Watson for that penultimate placing. Out in front, though, the opposite side of the field, Samuel Sproul is still leading, but Gabriel Duarte is no further back than he was just 8 minutes ago, although they have a 5.6 second gap back to third. So they're not too concerned right now.
They've really pulled ahead. Last lap, Sproul was a 1:18.299. Gabriel Duarte was a 1:18.254. So essentially no difference between the two. And then Ali Hunt there in third was a 1:18.919. So 7/10 faster for that group of two up there at the top.
They are flying, and Michael McLeod got past Gary Watson, by the way. Oh!
Oh, wow.
That's Benjamin Roche into a, who was that? I can't even tell. They've just disappeared. Michael Murillo, I believe.
Yes, it was Murillo. He had spun around backwards like we've seen 20 people so far, and he tried reversing onto the track to rejoin, and or maybe he wasn't on his brakes. He wasn't on his brakes after the spin, and ended up taking someone out.
Just was not the right choice there. Ariel Julian went off track a little bit, it seems, but he's all right. Just 2 seconds off of the track. Lots of cars going through this section here. This is where the little DRS train is happening in the field right now. That's Mikey Howenick there in that default Porsche livery, and Carl Ribbing is leading that pack there.
For the reaction there, I'm watching right now Duarte up there at the front with Sproul, and Duarte has absolutely no lack of confidence in following Sproul into Moss. He is on his bumper. They're nearly touching going through, because you have to maximize your exit there to try to make a move, and he's just close enough to think about it, but he needs to have one lap where he just has a much bigger advantage than he had there. So close.
Yeah, this is a look at just how close they are through those corners. That's pretty impressive. But hold on now, because we're going to take a trip back here to Carl Ribbing. Mikey Howenick has gotten past him, and Devin Horvath as well now. He's down 2 positions in just about 5 corners, not even. Oh,
man.
And now Jack Buser. So
Kinda
he went
let him
from
go on that one for sure.
he went from leading that train to behind it, to being the caboose in less than a lap.
Yeah, something that this track really just seems to do that a lot, where this track, when you try to make a move and it doesn't work, you often get passed by the guy behind you as well. And look at that. Look how close he is. Like, there's not any gap. They might as well be rubbing against each other.
They are quite close. That's very impressive.
This is the closest I've seen him so far in this straight. He may make a move here. But obviously, Sproul will probably try to hold the inside here.
Here we see he's trying to pull out. Does he have the speed to make it work, though?
It's possible. You have the inside to the next turn here. If he can stick his nose in, can't quite
he just
do it.
can't. But a nice attempt there from Duarte, that Brazilian driver.
Yeah, and not every failed pass is a failure. You know, he learned something from that. Learned the way that Sproul's going to take that turn and might be able to use that in the future.
Yes, he will. Remember, there's 3 minutes left in this race, but there's still a 30-minute feature race going on after this. And
we're probably looking at 3 laps to go.
Just about around that territory now. If Duarte wins this, he comes out and he passes Sam, then he will start 8th in the next race. And if he takes 2nd, he'll start 7th. So it's clear that Duarte has the pace to stay up there and maybe even run away. So what if he starts 7th and has that track position?
I can tell you one thing, man. I've done this track a lot. I'm pretty good at it. I have never been confident enough to follow someone that close. I mean, that just shows the skill that he's got in that car.
Yeah, I could hear you kind of laughing from your being so impressed there.
It's a corner that I've respected and learned to be afraid of, but he's not afraid.
He is one fearless driver out there.
Evan Horvath looking to make some more spots up from an early incident on Howenick here, who has made a lot of spots up from just starting last.
Let's see what he can do. Not much.
Can't quite do it, but it does look like Santana is well, he's blinking ahead of him, but also that whole group of 3 may be able to get up to him in these next 2 laps or so.
Also have to keep an eye
Buser
on
wide,
Buser behind.
wide.
Oh.
That was a good save. He about had another heartbreak there right at the end of that straight.
Oh boy. He's done himself a great job of making his way back up to P13 now. He was way down there on earlier in the race.
Yeah, every position's a point, so those back positions are, gaining those positions back there is just as valuable as getting the ones up front.
It sure is.
Santana having to drive a little defensive here. He's got Howenick all over. Howenick trying to send
going
it
for it.
The Moss.
Oh, he gets on
it
the
doesn't
curb.
work.
Did they make contact there?
Yeah, there was some contact.
Oh, there's
and
contact
more
there.
Feeds him into the wall.
They are both in the grass. They both
There's
keep
Buser
it.
through.
They keep it straight. Buser goes ahead, and Horvath is the loser in that situation.
Yeah, he honestly made it out a lot better than I thought he would. I thought he was going to be completely out hitting that wall. This is the final lap here.
All right, so the white flag is flying. Can Duarte make it work? I don't know. It's going to be tight.
He's got one chance going down Marco Andretti, probably. That's the most like. That's really the only place you can pass on this track, unless someone makes a mistake.
We've seen him with some attempts on earlier in this race. Can he make this final one count? Down into Moss. He needs to nail his exit
Backing
here.
off a little bit. Yeah, he's backing off a little bit to get some more exit, actually. Doesn't want to follow too
look
close.
like he has. I can't
I
tell.
don't think his exit was great.
Yeah, I don't think it was good enough.
He kind of hit the curb weird, and it looked like Sproul pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, he just does not have that speed down the straight. So you might have to settle here for second unless Sproul makes some sort of last-minute mistake.
He's looking pretty solid here. Yeah, that's gonna be Sproul there taking the win for Heat 1.
Checkered flag is flying, and Mr. Samuel K. Sproul sees it first, and he's gonna cross the line to take the sprint win. Gabriel Duarte, not too bad in second. He was right on the bumper. 8 seconds back. Ali Hunt takes third, and we'll watch these very, very tight battles here, as a few of them are going to be crossing the line quite close, like Mark Santana and Jack Buser. Jack Buser backing out at the last second to let Santana take it.
Must have been something that happened that we didn't see, where he may have claimed some sort of fault to it.
Interesting.
What a great win by Sproul, by the way, though. Starting with a magical start off the line, where he gained first before they even got to turn 1. So what a start, and then held that confidently throughout the entire race with Duarte breathing down his neck.
Yeah, and McLeod, who was last, has worked his way up to, let's see, 3 people above last. So not too bad.
It definitely seems that he got it worse than Buser did. Buser elected not to pit, but I think McLeod probably had no choice.
It was a good job staying in it.
So top 8 there, we get Dan Herrera in 8th place. He's going to be taking that feature race pole. And unfortunately, Ariel Julian occupying the unwanted 9th place spot.
Very unfortunate. So now 2 minutes will pass as the drivers get a little break from action, a little Sunday drive, if you will, and then we can see another 30 minutes, double the length of that race, and see how that goes.
Yeah, give the driver some time to take a breath, and because it's about to be another really hectic and really scary start. Just it's what standing starts do in these really powerful cars, but it's also just what this track does with turn 1 coming up to you quick and fast.
All right, well, 1 minute, and we'll rejoin for some more action. And we are back to watch all 26 cars grid once again. The finishing order for last race is the way they will grid, except for those top 8. So Dan Morera finished 8th place. He's going to start on pole. That'll be interesting to watch what he can do. Maybe he'll get a Sproul type start and run away.
I mean, him in that AM classification with Julian behind him in ninth, that's a huge bonus.
Yeah, that looks a little that looks pretty scary there actually. Being an AM driver and having 7 pros behind you.
He'll have some white knuckles, I'm sure.
Yes. Now we'll get to watch this race start another time and see some more action. So it looks like everybody is on the grid. There they all are. We've got 1 light, 2, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights are on. Now they're out, and Morera leads them away.
Wow.
Nicely done. And in the back, we see Mark Lampere up into 2nd place. Aiden Young dropped a position there. Looks pretty clean throughout. Not a lot of drama, but wait until we get up to turn 2, because that's where it gets a little scary. And that it does. Is that Buser again? That's Buser again.
In the inside.
Ali Hunt is crashed. Marco Valverde is out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Valverde, Ryan Winfeld kind of caught up in that.
Oh, that's Young Choi. Oh, boy. Action all over. Drama all over again. Let's see. That is Charlie Pouyer on the inside there of... who is that? That would be Ariel Julia? No. The other way around. Samuel Sproul on the inside of Charlie Pouyer.
Jack Buser to the pits. This will be a race day to forget after a wonderful qualifying.
Yeah, 2 lap 1 crashes. Not what you want to do when you qualify on pole, but not much you can do now. Mark Santana.
Yeah, letting Horvath go through there. Definitely let off to let through.
For sure. Nicely executed, though, by Horvath. Getting through nice and clean. Didn't lose much time. So, Morera, despite being an amateur, he sets the fastest first lap and still is in that first place. So, not too bad from him.
Yeah, killer start for him. Didn't make a single mistake. Faster than every guy behind him. He's not first just because he started in first. He was faster than everyone else. And Aiden Young, a little bit of a messy start, but better than last heat where the car just didn't start at all. I don't know what happened there, but better in that one there.
Yeah, he lost 1 position.
Oh, is that someone wide? Stamos?
That is Stamos. There he is in the wall.
Yeah, we just saw it there.
Oh boy.
Aiden Young all over Lampere coming out of the exit of Moss here.
Oh, Rodriguez with a little blink as that. Oh, who's that? That is.
That's a bummer.
That. Okay, that's Gary Watson. Oh, and into him goes Stamos.
Yeah.
He was just parked there waiting for everybody to drive by, and Stamos drove into him.
Yeah, he did what he's supposed to do, is just stay there and wait for everyone to get through, but he still got hit anyway.
But there's Winfeld on Roche, looking to make the move. And he's going to get it done. Can he hold it into the final corner? He can. Nicely executed.
Valverde's the other driver that was involved in that with Watson there.
So Valverde, again, not an optimal race for him, but...
Mark Lampere there to first, making the pass for first place. Down inside of turn 2.
He is quite a daredevil, that man. And
they're playing it a little safe, and he should. He's many spots ahead of Julian right now.
Make sure we pay attention there. Duarte is sizing up a move on Aiden Young, and he makes it happen. So Sproul, who started 8th, is only in 6th, but Duarte's up to 3rd. So I'm pretty sure that Duarte is going to be pretty happy with that start there.
Aiden Young not letting him forget that he's there. That's for sure. He's all over him there.
Yeah, Aiden Young not happy about losing that place. He wants that 3rd back, that podium. But still a long way to go.
Oh, that was way faster by Duarte than Morera. Duarte had to take a little bit of avoiding action to not just run into the back of him.
Almost lets Aiden Young through because of that, but
Michael Correa, yep.
Managed to hold it.
Everybody behind us there. There's just all nose to tail right now.
quite close. This is Young Choi and Ali Hunt in the back, but Ali Hunt gonna make that move stick.
Yeah, Ali Hunt, one of the faster drivers in practice. Started this race, gridded 6th, and must have been involved in one of those many early lap 1 incidents we saw. Obviously running down there in 21 or 21st right now. Yeah, 21th place.
That kind of day. But yeah, I mean, we've seen some big crashes. A lot of the fast guys have been caught up in them. Jack Buser. I mean, Marco Valverde's down there in the out of the race category. So very unfortunate for them. As Samuel Sproul started 8th, now down to 9th, and he's getting his doors banged in by Mikey Howenick.
Yeah, wow.
As Duarte
That was a good pass.
tries to make the move here on Dan Morera. He's going to get it done. Aiden Young's going to slip through with him if he can. He's got that inside line. Let's watch them into turn 1. Aiden Young makes it nice and easy. Back into 3rd place. Morera down to 4th.
It's really interesting to not see Sproul make his way up through the field like we saw Duarte already do. He's up in the 2nd place trying to fight Mark Lampere for 1st, and then Sproul we've seen lose 1 spot.
Yeah, I don't know if he's more like a 2020 Mercedes car. It's just kind of, you can lead, but you can't follow.
He's still got plenty of time to make it up, but it's an interesting start in which we probably expected both those 2 drivers to just charge the field. Oh, he's going on the inside in the halfway through Moss.
As we say, he's not making enough passes. He's going for one. Doesn't make it happen.
The problem when you do it there is you lose any momentum to all of those guys ahead of them. That's the one thing you have to think about here. You got to get around guys, but you can't be just falling off that peloton in front.
Yeah, the draft is super important. You got to stick with these big packs of people and work your way up to the front and then lose them. You don't want to lose them when you're at the back.
Yeah, you have to pass efficiently if you're gonna. I mean, he's got many more spots than just that Howenick spot in front of him that he wants to get, and he needs to make sure not to lose too much time trying to get around these guys.
Well, we'll see if he can do that, but for now, Sproul down to 9th from 8th.
Here goes Julian there up 2, and Howenick up 5. As we just mentioned, those guys both in AM, so starting to bring the challenge to Dan Morera a little bit more. I mean, Julian's only probably less than a second, 1.1 seconds maybe back from Morera because of how close these cars are.
Yeah, it's not a huge surprise that Morera's fallen back. He is racing against the likes of Lampere and Duarte and Young up there, which are all super fast. And Morera is just in the AM class. So, not that that says he's slower, but it definitely suggests it.
Yeah, he's got a different mindset through these. I mean, like, he's got Michael Carrillo right behind him right now. No point in fighting Michael for all the, for this spot, for this time. Let him through. Don't make a mistake. Don't lose too much time. You have the advantage
Out in
from
front,
the start of the
hold
race
on.
that you're in first.
Duarte, Young, and Lampere going at it. And Duarte is now in first place after that. Young's looking to make it to P2, but Lampere's got the slipstream. Oh, but he gets it on the inside of turn 1.
Lampere let him go to the inside. That was such a weird move.
Maybe he thought
he's kind of going the inside here, though.
The inside here.
Oh, Young tries the switchback, but they make contact there, actually.
Slight tap. Young going, diving up the inside of turn 4.
Knew it was
and
coming.
He's ahead again.
Maybe.
Wow. Now this is some talent
look at Duarte.
here.
He's gone now.
Yeah, Duarte has just run off, and we know he has the pace to just extend that lead and extend that forever. So they need to get their stuff back together and work as a team to catch back up.
Yeah, I know they both went second, but that 1+ second gap is a huge loss of slipstream to first place.
That is not optimal at all, but very nicely done by Duarte. Very, very, very nicely done. Let's see what he did here. Just way better on the brakes. Wow.
On the outside even. Oh, Sproul collision with Howanick both in the second to last turn. Howanick gets spun 360 around. Luckily can keep going. Didn't seem to be huge collision, but lost a lot of time.
Yeah, that's not going to help. Sproul now down to, oh boy, 17th. So Duarte in a really great position to take an overall win here, as well as the feature win.
Sproul just getting a little impatient, I think, trying to get around these guys, and yeah, he stuck his nose in where there just really wasn't a gap, which, you know, you see there in that second to last turn, the way the S's work, you just can't do it.
Yep. Oh, wow.
He really goes wide there.
That was close. Now he's side by side with league owner Michael McLeod.
Whoa, that was close. That was really close. That was inches away. I don't know if either driver knew, but that was inches.
They are really, really racing each other hard back there. All the way down in P18 and 17. All right.
See, up front, Duarte actually has a lapped car to deal with here.
Yeah, that gap is back down to 5/10, 6/10.
Hope he doesn't get involved in this. That's what you hope.
He says, I'm out of here. He's in the wall. But Aiden Young back up within 5/10 of Duarte. That's really, really good news for him. He's back in that slipstream. Oh, and in the back, Mark Lampere. Is that him going off?
Lampere's still going.
Okay, so that was a back marker that went off. I thought Mark Lampere went off into the grass of turn 1.
No, but right. I mean, he's lost a lot of time for sure to Young in front.
2.5 seconds. It looks like he is, right now at least, out of that battle for second place. It's up to Young.
You know, I'm sorry for correcting you. He is the one that went wide. He just did a great job at saving it and lost as little time as he really probably could.
Oh boy. So Lampere now 3 seconds back from Aiden Young's car, and that second place is ever fading from his dreams. But Aiden Young, that first place is right back in his eye line, his eyesight.
Yeah, last lap was pretty much equal, but this lap he has made up a lot of ground.
We'll have to keep an eye on that gap up front as we take a look back to this DRS train here. From 3rd place all the way back to 6th place, and they make contact. That is Horvath, no, Morera off, who started on pole for this race. He's going down to 11th, 12th, and 13th. He's going to keep falling down. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
He just can't find his way back on track.
Now, 13 seconds off.
Yeah, 13 seconds in the grass is going to cost you almost. Let's see, he lost. I can't even find him. He's so far down.
And it's 17th right now.
Yeah, so he lost about 10 places because of that.
I think everyone was rooting for him there, so that's a bummer to see.
Yeah, you really don't like to see when that happens to a driver that's having a great race, but it does happen.
To give a shout out to a guy who hasn't been mentioned yet, but has been putting on a crazy race coming from pretty far back. Ryan Winfelt, looking for a move on Crispin Hudson there to get up to 9th, he makes his way through. But Winfelt there is in 8th place, and he started 16 positions lower than that. So huge riser for this race so far.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. Up that 16 positions. Rob West's up 8. I think he started last. And another name, Horvath, he's up 6 as well. Michael McLeod makes it 7 with the pass on Troy Fenelon. So a lot of great climbers here today.
Yeah, McLeod needed a good heat after what happened in turn 1 of last heat.
He surely did.
So on the previous lap, again, Duarte and Young pretty much matching each other. Right now, a 7/10 gap. Not enough to probably make Duarte be sweating that much, but Aiden can see him just down the road. It's certainly within touch, especially with any sort of minor mistake that might be made.
Yeah, I think Aiden Young has the skill, but does he have... I don't even know. Does Gabriel Duarte have the mistake? Because that's what it's going to take to get past Gabe. He's just insanely fast.
Either way, this will be really good points for Young. Obviously started, I believe, in third for the first heat, but finished the race after an incident, just getting off the line, finished in 7th place.
Yeah, so he will be now in... Well, actually, he's stayed where he started in this race, as has Mark Lampere. But Lampere, who was once in the wonderful battle for second, is now 4.5 seconds behind second place.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of a gap those top two have already pulled.
They are blazing fast out front.
But Lampere certainly has to worry. There's a huge train that's forming behind him right now. He's doing well, but Puyer's right on the back of him, Julian, Horvath, and if you go a little bit further back, then we just continue Winfeld, followed by Santana and Hudson and Rodriguez and Howanick. So if you make a mistake, you're losing a lot of spots, and we've already seen a couple guys do that.
Yeah, Lampere, I think he probably had the best save here. He did make his mistake, but he managed to keep it not out of the wall.
Oh,
and
Fenelon on the inside.
there he goes. Oh, and that was never going to work, I don't think.
Nope.
As Murillo is going to go around as a result of Fenelon's send.
That curve there is designed to not invite that. So when you hit that curve, you bounce to the left. So trying to go side by side, trying to pin him that close, it just doesn't work. You hit the curb, you bounce into him. We saw it already, I think, once earlier in this heat. Hopefully drivers stop trying to do it.
Well, only time will tell if they do stop, and we'll know if it doesn't, because we will see a few bent up cars driving around this track.
So again, the cars are starting to slow down. The best laps that we've seen are in the mid 18s by the guys that are up front, and they're now running in the 119s. So the tires are starting to be a little bit of a problem. It's not a huge tire wear track, so it's not one that you'll have to worry about as much as I would assume at like Interlagos is certainly one that you would have a bigger effect. Oh,
that is Lampere in the grass in the
yeah,
Moss
it is. Another, I mean, to be fair, another good save to not gain a lot of damage.
Yeah, Lampere is pretty good at staying out of the wall, but out of the grass, not so much, which will cost you still a lot of time.
I do wonder if the tires are coming into play with that. We've seen a few mistakes lately by a few drivers, and the cars are not driving like they were in the first heat because we've now gone longer than the first heat was.
Yeah, we are 2 minutes past the end point of Heat 1 as Lampere is in the wall this time.
Oh, I feel for him there. He avoided. He thought that there was about to be a collision. He kind of bailed on like a pass attempt, and then there's no stopping it.
Very unfortunate.
He was just trying to be careful, but he toted the pits.
So that's going to be from, what would that be, second? No, fourth. From fourth all the way down to 22nd. That is not how math works. Yeah, it's okay.
And he was in third at the start of the lap as well.
Yeah, so not what you want to see, but that's also racing. Now, Horvath is following Ariel Julian pretty closely, and Julian is now the top AM driver of the day after we had a little incident there with Mr. Morera. So he's looking to take home some decent points compared to Santana down in 7th. But can he hold on to it is the question here.
Yeah, he's got over 5 seconds to Santana behind, so you don't want to be worried about Horvath behind too much. You got a pretty healthy gap there from first to second there in the AM division.
Yeah, he is doing all right for himself right now, and hopefully he can hold on to that.
As previously mentioned, Ryan Winfeld, now he's up 18 spots to 6th. Has benefited from a couple mistakes around him and has moved all the way up nearly into the top 5. He's got a 3.5 second buffer to Horvath in front, but super impressive drive.
Yeah, Winfeld doing amazing. Rob West up 10 positions as well. And Michael McLeod is up 8. So really strong races all over the field. Devin Horvath still trying to track down Ariel Julian. They are our closest cars on track, and out front.
That was a good exit there by Horvath.
Let's not forget these two. Because
yeah, they're just running together. Only a 10th difference. Aiden Young technically a 10th slower on that last lap. We kind of saw this at Interlagos last week with Duarte again, where it's just they just kept running like the exact same laps throughout the whole thing. So we may not see some action until later. Aiden Young might be waiting to size up a move.
Yeah, he could be saving his tires because we know they're pretty under attack, those tires here. So hopefully trying to keep that down and then use it later in the race. I don't know.
I mean, they certainly don't have to worry about both losing to third. I mean, Charlie Pouillet doing well to be up in third, but 8 seconds back from those two. So, I mean, those two are the guys up at front. They can afford to be a little more aggressive because the ramifications are only going to be, hey, you're second.
Yes, they can. As we missed commenting on it, but Michael McLeod makes the pass up into P10.
And Hownick there past Crispin Hudson into P8 as well.
All right, so he's closer this time. Less than 2/10 is Aiden Young. Going up to the final sector on the outside, but Duarte is amazing on the brakes in this corner. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, he's happy to give Aiden the outside there. That's where he made his move for the win. Oh, Horvath finally gets around Julian there. But that's where Duarte made his move for first, was around the outside. But in general, you want the inside.
You definitely do. That is the line to have for that corner. Unless you're just an alien that can make it work.
Cloud around Hudson for P9.
We've seen some wonderful braking moves, and they do work. Just not all the time.
Hudson just having a rough couple laps here. He's lost a few positions already. Still up from where he started, of course. But has lost to Rodriguez, McLeod, Santana, and Hownick, I think all in the last lap.
Very unfortunate as Young falls off a little bit. So, who is our action on track? Michael McLeod is chasing down Mr. Mark Santana. McLeod, again, we mentioned this, up 10 positions. Rob West up 11 positions. Who else do we have? Of course, Ryan Winfelt, 18 positions gained on the night.
And Devin Horvath up 8 as well. Horvath, one who had to start outside of he had an incident in lap 1, I believe, as many others did. But he had to start outside of that, desired top 8, and he's moved his way up to 4th now.
Yeah, we're seeing some very, very strong races from a lot of people here, and it's very impressive.
Oh, McLeod down the inside in the last turn.
Can he make it stick?
Move.
He's got the exit. He's got the speed, and he's ahead.
And Santana gonna lose to Rodriguez now as well. That's what did I say? That's what happens here. The momentum is a huge shift when you lose a spot.
It definitely is. If you have that opening, somebody else is gonna slide through. That's for sure. Especially with these level drivers, they are there and they take their opportunities.
Yeah, so another good move by McLeod to then move his way up to 8th. He's got a bit of a gap there to Hownick in front. But with 7 minutes to go, we have probably 6 laps. It's certainly doable.
It is doable, as Santana is going to lose another spot there to Crispin Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson making have a bit of a second win there after losing a lot of spots on the previous lap. Probably happy to be able to get that one back.
Yeah, he is back into the top 10 on his first outing with this championship here. So not too bad.
Valley Hunt catching up to Dan Marrera in front. Dan Marrera, one who started first, did have a great start, but had that incident That unfortunately dropped him a lot of positions. And then Ali Hunt, one who started the race in 6th position, down to 14th right now. So both guys trying to make some amends for some early race stuff, and Hunt is certainly pressuring Morera right now.
Yeah, he's doing well to catch back up. But again, ooh, Sproul in the pit lane. Uh-oh. That could be a retirement for him. I'm not sure why he's in there. Maybe getting a fast repair.
Yeah, the normal drive in. He doesn't have any major damage that I see.
All right, so Sproul maybe giving up on this race here tonight after taking that first win in the...
He did have some, yeah. But he got it fixed. He's coming back out. He had some damage to the rear left that wasn't immediately noticeable. But it's a weird call. Yeah, that's a little strange. I feel like it's too late anyway for that to come to fruition.
Maybe it was a meatball. I'm not sure. One of those very unfair meatballs that they give out sometimes.
Yeah, that's possible.
But we move on. Samuel Sproul not giving up on this race. He's going to try his hardest as Ali Hunt trying to go around the outside of Dan Morera, but can't make it stick.
Something to Rob West. Rob West lost just a couple positions right in a row to Roshan Maria there. One who's West, who's made up a lot of spots lately. I'm trying to... Oh, he went wide in Quebec corner, which is the corner before Moss. Avoided major damage, but did lose a couple spots.
Fenelon just lost a spot there, and he's down in 19th now.
Evan Horvath very close to Charlie Pouyer in front, trying to put himself on that podium. Has caught up a lot in the last few laps that we've seen. Previous lap was 0.2 faster, but I think even faster this lap. Under 0.3 now.
Under 0.3. All right, well, let's take a look at this. Pouyer and Horvath, 10 seconds back from second place, but they're having their race of their own for the podium with 4 minutes to go. Less than 4 minutes to go.
Crossing the line, it's going to be probably 3 laps remaining. So we have a couple guys on track that we see pretty close. It does seem like Aiden Young's just not able to get close enough to make a move. He's fallen back more from what we saw 4 or 5 laps ago.
Yeah, now he's down almost a second. Oh,
and then that
commentator's curse. So now he's a bit more than a second back. He is 6 seconds back off of Duarte, which is going to allow Pouyer to catch up a little bit, but not enough. Not yet.
He did a good job to hit that, taking it as little damage as possible as far as the only positives that can be taken out of it. Michael McLeod there on Mikey Howanek to move his way up to 7th. But, yeah, I mean, Aiden's going to be happy that they had that gap behind now.
Yeah, Horvath now as well catching up on Pouyer. Could he make
He's
the
gonna
pass
make a move here
on the outside?
On the outside.
They're side by side now, going up into this corner here.
Currently ahead. Both on the brakes at the exact same time.
Horvath's got the momentum.
Horvath can keep his nose in there. He's gonna. Yes, that's okay, that's a great move there. Can he keep it?
He's got that nose.
He's got the outside.
He's got the space, and he's
Nice
got the
move.
momentum. Nicely done from Horvath.
That was the textbook way to pass there when you have a lot of resistance. He took the outside and was close enough. He was able to keep the inside for the next corner. That was really impressive.
Well done from Horvath to get up into that 3rd place. And now he's just got to work on keeping it.
Oh, Young lose again.
Oh boy!
Yeah, now he's fighting there for 3rd and 4th.
So that pass really got Horvath up to 2nd now, as Aiden Young is going very slowly. This battle has been thrown wide open as Duarte is 13 seconds ahead of them in the lead.
There's nothing more frustrating than being in Pouyer's situation there, where a guy recovers and he gets right between you and the guy you were just battling with.
Not something.
And now he's got to deal with Julian behind.
Yeah, Ariel Julian catching up to them as well. The amateur driver there, following Mikey Howanek is down in 8th, and that is his next classed driver. is Michael McLeod as well, up 12 positions. Devin Horvath actually up 10 now. He is on fire. Oh, Aiden
he's
Young,
gonna
though.
be 9. Oh, wow. He's fighting it. He's fighting. He's going to stay ahead. That was a risky move.
That is the
Risky
white
send by
flag
Young.
flying as well. So this is the last lap of this race, the last chance for Aiden Young to get that second place that he had oh so almost secured.
Horvath plenty hungry for that P2 as well.
All right, so Horvath needs to have a good lap here, keep it out in front, and try to defend off Aiden Young. Aiden Young's biggest chance here.
Yep, here's where the setup is. The exit through Moss.
He
That's
has
what
to
we're all
nail
paying
this.
attention to.
This has to be good. Looks good from
Seems like
Horvath.
it was a little better by Young. Horvath with a little bit of oversteer. He's trying to break the toe here down the straight now. He'll probably end up taking the inside here.
Doesn't look
This is
like
gonna be
Young
close.
has the speed, though. He's going to have to make a dive of a move if he's going to, and he doesn't.
Parking it in the middle of the track. Yep, this'll
Gabriel
end up
Duarte takes the win.
Oh, late send.
Young going up the inside.
Wow,
Oh,
what a
wow.
send for
That's
a
tight.
second.
That's tight.
It's coming to the line.
Young takes it with a
Wow.
last corner move. Wow. 5/1000 separate the two.
2 year again. The guy just on the outside there. He was trying to make a move on the right side, but what a finish for that podium.
Well done by Young. He had some issues, but he held on, and that's a very well-deserved second place for him. Along with Devin Horvath, deserving of his third place. He's up 9 positions. Ryan Winfeld is up 18 positions for 6th. And Michael McLeod up 12 positions for 7th.
Horvath's going to be kicking himself that he didn't just park it on the apex in the last corner. It's actually what we saw Duarte do in the first heat, if you remember. Or Sproul, sorry. So we saw Sproul park it on the apex in the final corner of the last lap. And yeah, Horvath's going to wish he did that because, man, 5,000ths is rough to lose by.
I think that's an iRacing achievement, actually. That might only account for
You have to do it at
officials.
Daytona, I think.
No,
Or
I
it's
think
either
it's
Daytona
anywhere.
or Talladega or something, yeah.
I think it's anywhere, but yeah. So we'll give him the Porsche Cup Challenge achievement for the 5/1000ths. But other than that, he's gonna have to settle for his third place.
Yeah, a bit of some chaos at the start of both heats, but really exciting and really skillful racing as a whole.
So that brings us to our results for the night. Gabriel Duarte takes the first place in the feature race here. Aiden Young, in a last corner move, takes second. And then Devin Horvath follows him with Charlie Pouyer, Ariel Julian, Ryan Winfelt, Michael McLeod, Mikey Howenick, Rob Rodriguez, Crispin Hudson, Mark Santana, Carl Ribbing, Ali Hunt, Dan Marrera, Benjamin Roche, Michael Carrillo, Troy Fenelon, Michael Murillo, and that is our grid. There we go.
And then following those guys, finishing out the lineup is Sam Sproul, Young Choi, Gary Watson, Rob West, Mark Lampere, Nicholas Stamos, Marco Valverde, and Jack Buser.
So, a wonderful race from some, heartbreak for others, but overall, a really strong week here in the Porsche Cup Challenge, the North American division. So, in another week's time, we'll be back here. I believe we'll be at Magny Core. I believe. So,
yeah,
stay on the lookout for that. And you have any final words, Zach?
Nope, looking forward to France next week.
Alrighty. Good night, everybody.